Mike Smith and Commissioner Talina Matthews. We are accompanied by several members of the PSC staff. They are Ariel Miller, Jeb Pinney, Connie Hunt, Andrew Melikanovic, and James Rhodes. We're here tonight to take public comments in two cases. The application of Duke Energy Kentucky for the approval of an adjustment in its rates for delivery of natural gas, number 2018-00261, and the application of Northern Kentucky Water District for a rate adjustment, number 2018-00291. If you were here for the earlier informational session, you heard about these applications in greater detail and also received an explanation of how the PSC will go about reaching a decision in each case. To reiterate what was explained earlier, the PSC is required to apply a fair, just, and reasonable standard in protecting the interest of both ratepayers and the utility within the scope of regulatory powers conferred upon it by the state legislature. What this basically means for investor-owned utilities such as Duke Energy is that in exchange for providing reliable gas at a fair price, they are permitted the opportunity to earn a fair rate of return on their investment. Emphasis is on opportunity. The Commission does not guarantee any rate of return for any utility. It's the PSC's responsibility to ensure that costs a utility presents for inclusion in their rates are fair, just, and reasonable to the ratepayer. However, by legislated statute, we cannot arbitrarily deny a utility from recouping those legitimately incurred costs. We also do not have the authority to adjust rates on the basis of economic hardship or other social or environmental factors present in a utility's service territory. If you missed the earlier presentation, I would recommend you view it online at the PSC website, psc.ky.gov, for a more in-depth explanation. We understand that any matter affecting utility rates is likely to produce strong and differing opinions. We trust that everyone here this evening will present their comments in a respectful manner and respect the right of everyone to be heard. With that being said, let me explain how we will proceed for the remainder of this event. We are here to listen to the public, but not to take or answer questions. Allowing questions and answers on the record as part of this meeting creates the potential for procedural problems later in the process. Therefore, there will be no presentations by either utility or any of the other parties to this case, nor will there be any question and answer period involving the parties. The Commission will be taking sworn testimony from them in their respective forthcoming evidentiary hearings. However, representatives of both Duke Energy and Northern Kentucky Water District have agreed to remain after the conclusion of public comments to meet informally with anyone who has any questions they wish the company to address. This is an opportunity for those utilities customers to have their voices heard. Those of you wishing to speak should have indicated your intention to do so when you signed in this evening. If you have not signed in, please do so, whether or not you intend to speak, so that we may have a complete record of this proceeding. Because we do not want to delay those who wish to speak on only one of these cases until comments are completed on the other case, we are combining all the comments into a single session, and speakers will be called up in the order in which you signed up. However, so that we may be able to compile an accurate record of this proceeding, please indicate which case you are addressing prior to beginning your comments. If you wish to speak to both cases, please tell us which one you will address first, and then let us know when you've moved on to the other case. Based on the number of people who have indicated a desire to speak, we are going to limit comments to 5 minutes per speaker if you're only talking about one case. If you're going to talk about both cases, we're going to allow 4 minutes each. So I've noticed a lot of people do intend to talk to both cases, so you should have plenty of time to speak your mind on whatever you'd like to convey to us. Our timekeeper will signal you when you have a minute remaining by holding up a yellow card. And if you're talking about both, you can get a yellow card, and then again when your time is up by holding up a red card. So if you get a yellow card, a red card, then you're supposed to move on to the other case. Please be respectful to others and do not disregard the timekeeper when they signal your time has expired. Those of you who do not wish to speak may submit comments in writing. We have comment forms available for that purpose, but again, in order to keep the record clear, please submit separate comments for each case and indicate on the comment form which case you are commenting upon. Those forms may be turned in tonight to a member of the PSC staff or mailed or faxed to the PSC. The address and phone number are on the forms. You may also submit comments by email through the PSC website, psc.ky.gov. As you can see, this meeting is being videotaped, and the tape will be available for public viewing on the PSC website. A summary of the public comments received tonight will be prepared for the PSC as part of the case record and made available on the website. All written comments will also be entered into the case record. If you later decide you would like to submit written comments, they will be accepted through the date of the formal evidentiary hearing in each case. During the evidentiary hearings, which will be held at the PSC offices 211 Sauer Boulevard in Frankfort, the applicants and other parties will present their cases to the Public Service Commission and be subject to cross-examination. The hearing in the Duke Energy case will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, February 5th, and may last several days. The evidentiary hearing in the Northern Kentucky Water District rate case will be on Wednesday, February 27th, and also begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both hearings are open to the public and will be streamed live on the PSC website, pscky.gov. 3 important things to keep in mind before we begin. Because the commissioners must rule on these applications, we cannot answer questions pertaining to the substance of these cases. However, questions you raise during this meeting may well be of assistance to the PSC and staff as we prepare for the evidentiary hearings. And PSC staff will be available after the public comments are concluded to answer any questions you may have regarding procedural matters in this case. The PSC has jurisdiction only over the rates and services of utilities. We have no jurisdiction over matters such as environmental standards or public health. Those are regulated by a number of federal, state, and local agencies. Therefore, the most helpful comments are those that directly address the merits of the application with respect to the size and structure of the requested rate adjustment and the reasons for the adjustments. If you have concerns or questions about service of billing for those individual accounts, the most effective way to have those addressed is to speak with a member of the PSC staff after this meeting or call our toll-free consumer hotline 800-772-4636 during regular business hours. When you come up to speak, please state your name and place of residence. Indicate whether you are speaking about the Duke Energy Kentucky or Northern Kentucky Water District case or both. And again, please keep your comments to the allotted time so that others may have an opportunity to address the commission. So as a courtesy, we ask if there's any elected officials that are here and would like to speak, and we provide them with the opportunity to speak first. So is there anyone, elected official, that would like to speak? Okay, that not being the case, we will go in order of those that have signed up. The first one I have is Larry Robinson. Yes, please. Would you? There's a microphone up here, and actually, I see you have materials, and I think there's even a place to set them.
I guess I'm an 8-minute person.
Oh, okay, good for you, sir.
Just give me the 8-minute or 7-minute notice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my first question is, it involves both Duke and North Kentucky Water, is how are you taking into consideration the savings they have from the tax cut and jobs bill that they just now are starting to?
So you realize we aren't going to answer questions. Okay, that's okay. Part of because it's an evidentiary hearing that's going to occur later on. If we answer questions now,
Right. Well, that's one of my main questions, is how does the PSC look at that? Okay. The second one is, will those savings be looked at in your rate? Will they be included in the decision that you make in regards to the rate? I'm hoping that it will. And then I guess my third question is, everything you're doing here guarantees the water company or the electric or gas company a return on their investment. But nothing that you're doing works for the efficiency of that company. So if they send the water company, everybody's gone by, water company job site, and there's 10 people standing around and one guy in the hole digging up the pipe. That doesn't seem very efficient to us, but we can't do anything about it but pay them more money every time they get a rate increase. There's nothing in this system that helps us make them more efficient.
Since you do have questions, I know we talked about the fact that we aren't going to answer any questions, but there is PSC staff here, and they can address specifically some of the questions you have, and they aren't limited in their ability to answer questions to you.
Okay.
This one?
No, it is.
Oh, sorry, yours.
It's on, but he needs to raise it up.
Okay.
Is that better? They'd like you to go ahead and say something.
Hello? Test.
Can you hear that? When you talk into it, can you raise it up a little more?
Okay.
Yeah. It's good.
Should be good enough now. Huh?
Got it.
Okay, so I need to talk to them about it, but I guess nothing that you just set the rate, so it doesn't have anything to do with the efficiency of the utility that you're setting the rate for.
Again, I'd like to answer your question,
Okay.
but they will be happy to answer for you.
All right.
Us.
This doesn't involve them, and this involves PSC. And it's basically on the same lines. When they come forward with a rate increase, do you all look back at their previous profits they've had in the years past? Or is it just the period of time that the one fellow talked about earlier, just 5 months or 6 months back or a year back? I mean, if they made a killing the last 5 years, but they're still coming for a rate increase, do you go back and look at those 5 years and say, you guys, been making enough money? I mean, that's the question I have. I guess you can't answer that.
I can't.
Okay. And then I guess it's the last comment I would have would be, since we can't get an answer, it won't make any difference.
As I said, I think you can get answers if you go ahead when the speaking part is over with.
Mm-hmm.
There's not only can the PSC staff answer questions, but the utility representatives also know how the process works. And I know that you may think the source of information might be tainted, I'm not sure, but the PSC staff can answer questions for you.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll work with that then.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll save you some time.
All right. Janine Bell? Sorry.
I hope I can speak into the microphone that everyone can hear me.
You can, yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. If I remember to speak into it, we'll be just fine.
There you go.
Yes. I want to discuss the Duke Energy rate increase, and I also would like to discuss the Northern Kentucky Water District, but maybe at a different turn. I've been doing a lot of research and trying to educate myself on what's happening. And first of all,
could you please state your name and your?
oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I thought everybody knew me. I'm infamous.
They probably do,
She's
but
so infamous. That's not a good thing. It's Janine Bell Smith, and I live at 850 River Watch Drive in Crescent Springs, Kentucky. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank the Public Service Commissioners and Andrew, with our commissioners, our Michael Schmidt, Chairman, thank you, and Robert Cicero from Northern Kentucky, thank you, and from Talina Matthews, Commissioner, thank you for coming, and also Andrew for providing the opportunity that we can address these issues. And we, the people, feel very pleasured that we were able to assemble and talk over our concerns and grievances that we have. And I'm talking about the Duke Energy rate increase of the natural gas. That is 2018-00291. And Duke Energy is requesting the natural gas rate increase of 10.5%. And also what they refer to as a decoupling mechanism that I am not basically understanding completely what that means. They also want approval of a new tariffs I believe one of those new tariffs is the demand-side management. And also, they are looking forward to new tariffs, which when I hear the word tariffs, I think of taxes and fees. And then all other required approval waivers and relief of 2018-00261. So my first point is the United States of America is the #1 producer of natural gas and oil in the world. And the United States has so much natural gas that we are able to give it away and we export it to other countries. Now, the Public Service Commission, I believe this was from our Michael Schmidt. There was an article in the Northern Kentucky Tribune of November the 2nd of 2018. The natural gas prices have fallen on an average of about 13% and are currently 64% below the level 10 years ago. Therefore, Kentucky residents should see lower prices at the start of the 2018-2019 hearing season, I should say, and that they did a year ago, according to the Public Service Commission. And I believe that would be a lowering of 6%. I have not seen that in my bills. And the natural gas production is continuing to forestall any sharp increases in prices. Even with the higher demands due to the use of natural gas, even to generate our electricity, and the rising cost of the rising of gas imports, the supply has more than kept pace. And then I went on to number 4. The wholesale costs are based on the base rates are reflected by the day-to-day operating cost, including the cost of delivering gas, as well as a return on equity for the company shareholders. And I believe that was reduced to a little bit over 9.75% during the electric rate paying issue. And I am a Duke Energy shareholder myself, and I bought my Duke Energy when it was $15 a share, and it's now like $84.90. It fluctuates according to the stock market. But I do believe that Duke is a monopoly. It is the largest supplier of gas and electric in the United States of America. And I see that corporate welfare is alive and well. And I will give you an example of Lynn J. Good, who is the corporate CEO of Duke Energy. In 2016, she made $13.5 million total compensation. In 2017, Lynn J. Good made $21.5 million total compensation. We don't know what 2018 brings because those figures are not available. Then I have another concern that has been reported recently, is what we call the Green Energy New Deal. That is a radical plan to gradually raise utility bills. They want to replace fossil fuels with solar energy panels and green energy projects, which are more expensive and less efficient in the name of global warming and climate change. The Green Energy New Deal funnels money into left-leaning industries. They advocate shutting down our natural gas and oil production and our coal mines in Kentucky, which have devastated our areas of Kentucky. They want to replace our fossil fuel with solar panels and wind energy, which are much more expensive and, once again, very inefficient. And I would like the Public Service Commission to address the high cost of living standards that we are experiencing here in not only Northern Kentucky, but throughout our state. Just to mention a few, our housing, our rent, our fees, and the Kentucky legislature, House Bill 366, gave us a 6% service fee, which I'm now paying to have all of my landscaping and my snow removal. That's very hard on my budget. I am a retired teacher of 30 years. And the hardworking families and retired individuals find that their paychecks are not able to keep up with the cover their monthly bills. And then I go back to what my mother used to say, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Well, Duke Energy said it's only 10.5% here, and Northern Kentucky Water District says, well, it's only 11.6% there, leaving Peter with not much of anything left to spare. And then as I would like to finish, too, with one of my favorite poems. I did mention this when I was down in Frankfurt for the electric hearing. It's called The Unknown Citizen. I will not read the poem to you entirely because it's quite long, but I did make it for the record last year. Was he happy? Was he free? Why, the question is absurd. If anything been wrong, we certainly should have heard. So today, commissioners, you have heard from some of these unknown citizens. We have no faces, but we have been silenced for much too long, and silence is compliance. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I might address the issue of the Northern Kentucky Water District the next round. Will that be okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. You're not going to address it now?
Ma'am. You can do it now.
You can do it now.
Oh, do you want to do it now?
Sure.
I'm not very well prepared for the Northern Kentucky Water District because I've been spending a lot of my time looking at the Duke Energy and trying to educate myself.
Do you want me to wait to the end of the line and call you up?
I would. That would probably be better for me to do.
Not a problem.
That's okay?
Yeah, when you come up next time, though, restate your name
My
and
name-
address
I have to do it
just
all
for
over
the
again.
record because it's being recorded.
I
okay?
could do that. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I neglected to mention earlier, the Attorney General has a representative here as well in the back corner of the room. Mr. Chandler is here, and he can also answer questions on how the process works, as he is a representative of the people that always intervenes in these cases on their behalf. So just letting you know, if you have questions afterwards, also feel free to talk to Mr. Chandler. Alan Daly.
Second here. I'll address both, but I won't need that much time.
Okay.
Roughly 11% for the Duke Energy increase, just roughly, is what I gather, or maybe that's the water, and 10%.
Can you please state your name and
Oh, I'm
address?
sorry, Alan Daly,
Thank you.
10330 Limerick Circle, Covington, Kentucky.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure we got
that's
that on the
all
record.
Anyhow, both rates on average 10 or 11%. That's both inflationary and it cascades to other costs that we endure. And I don't think that's justified. That's my opinion. A return on investment of 7% would be fantastic. In the bank, I don't think I even get 2%. And I know my cost of living increases on Social Security are nowhere near that. So I feel that this is just a move to enrich the big guys, especially in salaries. I can't say that for the water department, but I can for Duke Energy. So that's my objection. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's Adam, and I apologize if I'm not saying this right. Firmer? Yes, I'm sorry. Adam.
Good evening. Adam Feinauer, 417 Pickett Court, Fort Wright, Kentucky. Most of what I want to say has already been said. I do want to thank you gentlemen for coming. I want to thank Andrew for the presentation he gave beforehand, which answered a bunch of my comments that I was going to put here. I mean, you didn't have to come here, but you came here. You were here last year, so I need to thank you for that, because we have people here that have things that they want to bring up, and they're getting the opportunity to do it without putting it in writing. Janine and Al both mentioned the increases. Yes, it just seems like we've got state tax, county tax, city tax, SD1 rates. Now the water company wants to increase. The gas company wants. Everybody wants their share of it. And I know you guys last year with the electric did a wonderful job in looking at everything, making sure that what was awarded Duke was justifiable. And I just want to thank you for that and ask you to do the same thing again this year. Take your staff, take the time, look at what they put forward, and come up with an equitable solution that's going to keep us supplied with gas, but also not raid our pockets as they've done for so many years, it seems like. So again, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Gina Perry?
May I defer my minutes to Janine?
You're more than welcome to, but I think she's going to have plenty of opportunity to speak when she comes back up. So if you'd like to speak, you're more than welcome to. Okay. Helen Hellebecky? Hellebecky? Thank you.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for all of you coming tonight to give us this opportunity to speak. My name is Helen Lebiczki.
Thank you.
That's Hlebiczki. I live at 2516 Memorial Parkway, Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Okay. I'm here, I think, representing the boomer generation, and I'm addressing both the Duke and the water issues. And, the boomer generation is the main population of the United States at this time, I believe. And most of us are in retirement, and I'm still a year away from Social Security, so a lot of us are on fixed incomes. And so, with aging comes medical problems and everything, dental, eye care, and other problems. And that's a lot of extra medicine that people are buying, a lot of rehabilitation services they need to pay for. And it just, it takes a lot out of their pocketbook. And also, this generation is also doing a lot of babysitting for their kids because their kids have to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. The moms don't get to stay home anymore and rear their children. Also, I'm here to talk about the underprivileged. I volunteer with a few organizations that help to pay rent, utility bills, as well as provide food, etc., for people. And these people's bills, they can't get out from under anything. I mean, a 2-bedroom apartment anywhere, which you'd need for a parent and a few children, is running $800 a month, almost anywhere you go, particularly over in Fort Thomas. That's really high. And it's hard to find anything lower. So they are paying that, unless they're on, a different program. And they have to provide food for their children, and the food stamps, as you know, are being cut back. They are also, having to provide books and so forth for their children. And, children do need entertainment also. When we go to a client and talk to them, entertainment just doesn't exist. Their entertainment is, if they have it, cable. And a lot of people aren't even getting cable anymore. So these people are just getting very depressed. And a lot of that's, leading to the whole, heroin epidemic problem also, and other, sources of recreational drugs. It just seems that, as I say, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and it doesn't seem fair. And also, I've noticed, particularly with Duke, as I was with the electric, was one of the opt-out people, and I don't like paying it. the service has been really, really bad. The telephone service, as far as anyone coming to read meters, they're not showing up. I just think Duke needs to get their company in order to begin with before they raise any rates. And as far as the water district, those rates just continue to spiral. And I realize for the investors, yes, they do need to make a profit, but I don't think it needs to be higher than anything that you're getting, on a CD, or if you are still working on anything that you're getting for, a raise each year. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I would remind you that the Duke representatives are here.
Right.
And they will be more than willing to address concerns that you may have about meter readers or anything along those lines.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Hunter.
Thank you for coming. My name's Mark Hunter. Live in Independence, Kentucky. We're not on gas. We're all electric. So I'm just going to speak only on the water and pretty much reflect what everyone else has been saying. I'm getting older. I have a small business, work from home. Everything keeps going up and up and up and up, and it just seems like you can never get ahead. A lot of people my age, they lost a lot of their retirement money when the stock market dropped and tanked, rebounded. And we lost a big chunk about a month or so ago. It'll eventually come back up to where it was, but it was like, and not anywhere near what we all hoped it would be to retire. So a lot of us will be working until we can't work anymore. So the water bill, 11% increase? 11.6? That's pretty high. Totally against any increase in the utilities. And just wanted to speak not only about me, but everybody that couldn't get here because they probably worked and couldn't get here because the meeting started early, but thank you for letting me speak.
Certainly, thank you. Anna Zinkon.
Hello, my name is Anna Zinkon. I'm a small business owner in Campbell County, Kentucky, in Camp Springs. I don't have gas service out there. We're a rural area, and I really appreciate you guys doing this. I hope you would consider doing this in Campbell County also, since we are part of the water district, and more people may be able to attend if we could have more frequent or more closer to home sessions. My issue with the water district and the rate increases is I really wonder how much they're utilizing technology and modernizing their practices. I've only been to one of their board meetings, I must confess. But it was a year ago, and it was real difficult to get information from them. The board packet is not available online on their website in preparation for the meeting and what's going to be on the agenda. Though they told me it is, I looked this week, it's still not there. Last year they went 4 months without any meetings in the fall, or 3 meetings, and our representative wasn't there for one of the meetings. That's 4 months without representation from Campbell County. The board is rather aged, and I think that's a concern. How modern, how complacent have they become in the way of doing business, and our new ideas and new considerations being looked at or being brought by the board? I look at the board as the leaders, as the ones who are bringing ingenuity. It shouldn't come from the staff only. So I just ask if you can have influence on that you take that into consideration. And I think having meetings at noon and having a hot lunch for a utility is not fair. I don't think we should be paying for their lunch that day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tyson Hermes? He had to leave?
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. There was a Jack Starosty that thought about speaking. Would you like to speak?
Yes, my name is Walt Starshock, and a little bit of handicap, but my voice carries very loudly, so I don't think I need a mic. I'm speaking on behalf. I've been in a property casualty. Walter Starshock, 138 Manor Court, Crescent Hills. I've been a property casualty agent for 37 years, and I'm representing those people. I personally have been on disability due to it. Thank you very much. I've been on disability as a result of a health issue that I had, but I'm coming back and I'm going to be fine. But since I've gotten back to work, a lot of people and we've talked about this already now, the amount of increases that people are paying for property taxes and all of these other things that are up, and those people are not getting those kind of increases, especially with Social Security disability as well. Granted, the economy is starting to get better, and we're going to see this in time. But as of right now, as far as the situation where I'm at involved in insurance, I have to shop insurance with people to 5, 6 different companies because all of this has come to roost. You've had the hurricanes, you've had the tornadoes, especially these fires in California. All of this is starting to affect the reinsurance markets. The reinsurance markets are not getting return on investment just the same as you guys are. But they're coming in back to the consumer and charging these exorbitant rates, and people are having quite a severe time paying these increases. So that's why your consideration, if you can keep these down as low as possible, especially for these people that are, and I know salaries and so forth are consideration as well, but we need to keep all of this at a minimum because these people do not have the money to keep paying these increases like this, and 10, 11% increases are considerably high for a lot of the people in these categories. So I thank you very much for coming to this and listening to us, because it's very important that we speak and that those of us that are not here to speak, that you can hear and understand this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Janine? If you go ahead and state your name and everything again.
My name is Janine Bell Smith, and I live at 850 River Watch Drive in Crescent Springs, Kentucky. And I haven't had much time to look at Northern Kentucky Water District increases. I actually went online and I looked up the 2018-00291 rate case, and it was over 1,000 pages. And I was going to copy that and read it over so I could. I am an educator, and I guess I'm one of those research nerds. And I'd rather enjoy it. 1,000 pages. It would take 25 Philadelphia lawyers plus 50 expert witnesses to even get through all those pages. I did go through them quickly, and all the numbers and all the fees. I don't know how much time these people at the Water District spent even putting this issue together. But I find out that since what I've been able to research, since 2011, the Northern Kentucky Water District has raised our rates incrementally every 2 years. They basically come to the Public Service Commission and say we will be in 2 consecutive years as this rate, as our current issue that we're talking about. They want 11.6% over a 2-year period, so they're breaking it down. But they've continually done this since 2011. So when does it stop? Because then the water usage is also attached to the SD1, which is the sanitation bill, which that keeps going up incrementally. And like Walter said, when does it stop? Because we can't afford to pay it anymore. Another thing, too, that the Water District would like to do, they want to add a convenience fee of maybe $3 if you use a credit card to pay for your water bill. And a lot of people do use the the credit cards because they probably don't have the cash to pay for it. So they actually want to hook on a convenience fee, which I think should be absolutely not being able. They should not be able to do it. Another thing, too, that I was going through the research, and I found out that in January the 7th of 2011, the Public Service Commission did grant an increase to the Kentucky Water District. But there was a little paragraph that really caught my eye. The Kentucky Public Service Commission has granted a rate increase to Northern Kentucky Water District, but reduced the requested amount due to the reflective questionable expenditures by the district. It went on to say that this was mismanaged. Our money's been mismanaged by the water district. However, the Public Service Commission also criticized the district, are you ready for this one? For spending money on club memberships, employee gifts, promotions, and other expenditures not tied to the delivery of water to customers. The Public Service Commission said that these expenses could not be charged to customers and should not be repeated in the future. And then when I heard, I believe Ann made a comment, they're having luncheon, and their business is called a lunch business. Who's paying for that? Are they paying for that? Or is that part of their issues that we get to pay for? The water district, also, we've been worried about employing what we call the smart meters. I know the smart meters is not an issue, but we are very concerned that it is, because we do not like smart meters. We've also been forced to smart meters on our electric, and I know that is not supposed to be part of the issue today. But another thing, too, is I went online and I thought, well, I'll ask for an open records request. This will probably not be in your purview. But as I went on, and I have 3 pages here to tell me how to fill out an open records report. Then I have a 1-page form that will say, well, we might let you have access to some of our open records, but not all of our open records. And I had talked with Lindsay Recton. She might be here today, and she did call me back. And I want to know how much these board members, I don't think the board members are paid quite that much because they are appointed. But I want to know how much these people that actually organize and run, the executives that run the water company, the water district, I'd like to know how much they're paid. I would like to know their salaries, and I would like to make that a public issue. And that's sort of where I stand on the Northern Kentucky Water District. And they've got to stop raising the increases because the water is tied to the sanitation. And I thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that didn't sign up that would like to speak? Certainly.
I signed up, but I scratched my name off.
I noticed that there was a scratch through here, and I couldn't read it. So.
It would have probably been easier for me if I had some liquid courage. I don't know. That's a joke, and I'm poor.
That's quite all right.
My name is John Phillips, and I live at 2966 Homestead Drive here in Edgewood, Kentucky. And I came earlier and I spoke and asked a question there earlier. One of the utilities in the state of Kentucky, gas utilities, allows its customers to affect the gas cost recovery mechanism in the building.
Can I interrupt you just for 1 second? Can you hear him? Because I know the microphone is down. So you're okay? Go ahead, please continue.
One utility does, it's Columbia Gas of Kentucky. The other utilities, they choose not to. It's not limited by the legislature. It's limited by the utilities themselves and the permission of the Public Utility Commission. And I guess what I'm here to say is I would like you to adopt the theory that, philosophical as it may be, that the more monies that these monopolies, utilities, want relative to performing their service, the more competition they should face. And if that means opening up the gas cost recovery mechanism on the bill to additional providers so that a customer can lock in their price for 4 or 5 years and know what they're going to spend on their gas costs, then so be it. Thank you very much. And thank you, gentlemen, very much for your service. And lady, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight and for sharing your views of the PSC and for the respect and courtesy you've shown. I'd also like to thank the state troopers that came tonight. They're always with us, and not because we feel threatened, it's just because they like to be here. As I announced earlier, the PSC staff, Duke Energy Kentucky, and Northern Kentucky Water District representatives are now available to meet with you informally and answer questions, also the Attorney General's office. So I thank you and good night and drive safely. Thank you very much.